So today we have a PlayStation 5, the new version that's come in. This is the latest model. It's a DVD version. And the customer brought this in with an HDMI port that was completely damaged. They literally just got it, and it fell off of a desk, and here we are now with it broken. So we can actually see that if we look closely, the actual back of the HDMI port is actually pushed all the way through. So what we can do is we can actually push this back to where it should be to show you guys what it would normally look like. You can see the pins are actually sticking out. This port was clearly pushed through pretty hard. You can see it protruding here out on the side from where the customer damaged it. So basically what we're going to do is remove this port. We're going to replace it with a brand new one. So to do that, the first thing we're going to do is going to add some flux. Our soldering iron. That background noise is our fume extractor. This extracts all the fumes so they don't go into our lungs. Helps if your soldering iron is on. So this doesn't have to be pretty. We're just adding solder here. If you want to do it really quick, you can. But again, we just want some solder to be on here. This is going to make our job easier. Now there's a couple different methods for taking this off the HDMI port itself. I'm going to show you the method that I like the most, which includes taking it, kind of hanging it off the side of a table. So essentially what we're going to do here is going to take just like this. We're going to remove this cushion. Add a little flux, and then we're going to take our heat gun here. We're just going to heat this up. Once it gets hot enough, gravity will naturally pull it out of the slot. Sometimes you got to give it a little tap, but you never want to pull. If you pull, you might actually rip a pad. Almost there. We can kind of see it getting shiny. There we go. It's right there. And just like that, a little tap and it falls right out. Now it takes quite some time to get experience enough for it to just kind of happen like that. If it's your first time doing it, it takes a little practice. But there's our HDMI port. Alright, so now let's see what these pads look like on the other side. Make sure we don't have any ripped. Nice, they look perfect. So what we're looking for is right here. Each one of these are pads, and these are the connections to where the HDMI port on the bottom side are actually going to connect to the board. and we just want to make sure that there's none ripped. A lot of times when customers really damage them, there'll be a ripped pad. Or if an unexperienced technician is taking this off, they'll often rip these pads. It can be fixed, but it's a lot more work, so this is exactly what we want to see. So now what we're going to do is, again, my method. Not everybody does it like this, but I find that it works the best when doing this. We're going to add some solder, and we're going to get our new HDMI port. I'll show you guys what this looks like. So switch cameras here. So you can see on the little small camera right here. This is what the HDMI port looks like when it's new, and the packaging. They come in these really big rolls. Open that, take the plastic off. We're going to get our new port out, just like that. And now, again, we're going to set this off the side of the table, and we're going to basically do the reverse of what we just did. Again, this is my method. Some people will take and actually remove all of the solder from all of the pads, all of the holes, and then put the HDMI port in, then put in more. This is a method. It takes a lot more time. You're also removing the original solder from the factory, which is just, being honest, it's a stronger quality solder than what you're going to buy in the aftermarket world. This is mainly because of regulations. But I find that we have less issues when the repair is done like this. Customers won't have to come back multiple times for warranty repairs. But again, to each his own. And so again, we're going to heat up from the bottom here. And once we see it shiny, kind of a shiny metallic silver color, that's when we know it's hot enough to stick this port in. Just like that. We know it's ready. We're going to stick it down there just like that. Now we're going to let it cool down. So you can see it's laying flush against the board all around. It's not sitting up on any side. There's no melted plastic. That's another reason I really like this method, is you don't have to worry about, the less time working on the board, the better, because you're not having to use as much heat over an extended period of time. So now this would work like this, to be honest. Because it has a connection, each one of those pins are touching on the bottom. This is how it looks when you purchase the PlayStation new. But what we want to do is we want to go back and actually add another layer of solder to really strengthen this. So I'm going to get our solder pin. And get our solder. What I like to use is the hot tweezers. So let me show you guys kind of what they look like. This is what they look like. Some of our techs say I'm weird because everybody else uses the main iron, but I'll show you guys why I like using this. It prevents, had I used this from the jump, that right there would not have happened. Those bridges. Alright, now my hot tweezers are on. Alright, so normally what we can do is get these off of here like this. The flex is like a lubricant in a way. It helps us really control where that solder goes. And without it, good luck trying to solder. It's kind of really the main component of what makes soldering like this possible. And in a minute I'll use a little white cleaning cloth to really kind of get that final flex off there. But before we do that, let's just check from a different angle and make sure we don't have any bridges. And it looks like we do. I see one here. Right. See one bridge right there. I gotta get that out. I still see one down here on this. So in order to do this one, we're actually going to keep this up at an angle like this. And it does take a little bit of skill to do this for anyone who's tried soldering. You gotta be really good with your hands. If you're not good with your hands, you're not going to be good at this. There we go, I got that one out. Let's see about this one. There we go, now no more bridges. Let's clean this up one more time. I want to try to get all that flux off there because it can become corrosive over time. There we go. Now let's look one more time, see if we see anything. No more bridges. Now I've been doing this long enough that I can kind of look at it and tell when it's good or not. But the way we can actually tell for sure is by using a voltmeter and testing each pin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my voltmeter here. Looks like this. And we're going to turn it on here. I want to put it in diode mode. And of course my batteries are dead, so I'm going to test this back at a different workbench. So I'm going to take this board over there with you guys, test it, and we're going to plug it up to this monitor and make sure that this bad boy works. There we have it. It's all fixed. If you need your PlayStation 5 HDMI ports replaced, simply go to XiRepair.com, look up PlayStation 5, click Start Repair, select the repair you need. In this case, maybe it's an HDMI port replacement. Fill out the information. Put a good phone number that we can contact you at once the device comes. Click Mail in Repair. Here you'll see the cost of the repair. This does change as time goes on. Then click Get a Free Label. Here you can insert your information. Here you can insert the address for where you want the device to be shipped back to. Click Book Repair. And then click Print Shipping Label. And here you'll have a shipping label that you can click Control P to actually print from any printer. Attach this to any box that the PlayStation 5 will fit inside of, and it'll be shipped directly to us. We pay for shipping to us. Thanks for watching.